So these tips are gonna be really great for job interviews, mostly cucumber kind of thing. Confidence means that you're confident to take long pauses. So alright guys, my name is Sarah. I'm a BCBA. Welcome to my channel. So today we are gonna be talking about 5 ways to fake confidence. So these tips are gonna be really great for job interviews mostly, and then also those other social situations that are like awkward and uncomfortable and you wanna feel cool cucumber kind of thing. This video is gonna be helpful for you. Okay, so my first tip is to take up space. So confidence means that you're comfortable. And when you're taking up space, that means you're comfortable. So what I'm talking about is, you're coming to your job interview, you have your notebook, your pen, or maybe you have like your bag or your jacket. You're gonna take those off, you're gonna set your notebook out, you're gonna set your pen out, and you're going to kind of get comfortable, uncross those legs if you would like, unless, that's your style, but feel free to kind of put your arms on the armrest, lean onto the table. Taking up that space and showing that you belong is gonna be a great way to show that you're confident, you're comfortable, you belong here, you're ready, you're attentive. All these little ways are gonna give those like subtle body language cues that you're confident. All right, so let me show you how this will kind of look. So like imagine I just sat down and you're sitting across from me in a job interview, and I have my little notebook and then my cup, and I just sit down and I'm just kind of closed in with my body. If I'm able to kind of relax, take those shoulders back, set that notebook out, take space, slide it over there, so that way, this is my area. Take your cup, if you brought a drink, spread that out. Feel free to get closer, make your body open and ready. So my next tip is going to be to look up stories or facts that are relevant to that social situation or that job interview that you're going to. So this one's a great confidence tip because it kind of gives you something to talk about in those lulls in conversation. So rather than being nervous or having like that awkward silence and you're just trying to like fill it and it just gets a little bit more weird, you have something to like, oh, I heard this thing. So for example, in a job interview, you could be like, oh, I noticed you guys opened up a store in Kansas. How did that go? Or, why Kansas? It gives you something and it shows that you're paying attention. It shows that you care. It shows that you did your research is a big one. Another example could be like, I was on Facebook, on your company website or, company Facebook, and I noticed that you guys have a new campaign. Can you tell me more about that? Shows that you're paying attention, you're eager, and gives you a chance to ask a question, and that just helps that conversation flow, and it takes the pressure off of you a little bit, so you're not trying to like come up with things on the spot in the moment. It's hard. Social conversations are hard, so having those like in your back pocket. If you bring like a notebook to your job interview, write a few little keywords down so you can remember what you wanted to bring up. If you're going on a date, same thing, have them on your phone, in the notes app, like, you could talk about the flea market that opened up last week, things like that. Okay, so my next one is to give out compliments. So again, confidence equals being comfortable. So an example of this, you're walking into your job interview, you could compliment, oh, this is a beautiful entryway. I love those chairs. Those are so cool. Where'd you guys get them? Or, you could walk into the, meeting room, compliment their big windows. It doesn't have to be on appearance. It's just giving out those compliments, saying, I'm noticing these things, I'm happy, comfortable here, I'm ready, I'm engaged, I'm not nervous, is a great way to do that. So, on a date, same thing. It could be like, I love when people arrive on time. It's amazing. Thank you so much. Just those little ways, little affirmations are going to be perfect ways to show you're confident. Okay, so my next tip is don't be afraid to take long pauses. So I like this one because it shows that you are in control. You're not overly anxious. Your adrenaline's not, on rapid fire. You are cool, calm, collective, confident. So what this is gonna look like, you're in an interview, say you're sitting across from me and you ask a question and maybe I really don't know the answer, but that's okay. That doesn't mean you need to start talking and start rambling and be really nervous. Just take a big breath. That's a really good question. Let me think. And then respond. That just shows you're there, you're ready, you're attentive. So I love this one in all situations. I think it's a great example. It's a good one to practice. There's actually a few studies out there that show the more you yourself give those long pauses, the more likely the other person is to fill in those gaps, like we kind of already talked about. Okay, so my last tip here is figure out what to do with your hands. So if you've ever been in an interview or interviewing somebody or in a situation where somebody's most likely nervous, you'll see a lot of this, you know, maybe nail biting, picking, talking a lot with your hands. I'm guilty of this one, obviously. You see this throughout the entire video that I do it. But just really kind of checking in with yourself and thinking, where are my hands? And just practicing and bringing those down and just being in control of them. Now, earlier I talked about using your hands and, you know, taking up space. Don't be afraid to do that. Just don't let your hands show your anxiety level. Keep them in control. Remember to bring them back down. You don't want to steal the show. My little rule of thumb here is if your hands could be on Sesame Street as a puppet, they're too much. So bring them down, be in control, check in about your nervous tics. Like, I'm a big nail biter, I'm really, really anxious. So just take a big breath. Some people like to put their hands in their lap, sit on their hands. I think this is a great one to do, and then bring your hands back up. You don't want to sit on your hands the whole time, so that again kind of goes against our first rule of taking up that space. So keep your hands in check, put them somewhere. Little fidgets in your pocket might be helpful if you're on a date and you know that you're going to be really nervous and you're going to want to do those little anxiety things, but keep that in mind. Okay, so I hope you guys found these tips helpful. I have practiced them and I utilize them as much as I can in those big girl interviews and, you know, job negotiations, things like that I'll go into. So just let me know if there's any more that you want me to do. I could do a part 2. I definitely have some more. But thank you guys for checking my channel. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment. It'd be super helpful for me. But other than that, have a great day, guys. Go out there, practice these. You got this.